After many years my family tried to get back into my life, but I can't forgive them. Part 3. I should have slammed the door. I should have ended it right then and there. But my father's hand was still on the doorframe, and I could see it in his eyes. He wasn't going to leave without a fight. I clenched my jaw. You don't get to do this, I said, my voice dangerously low. You don't get to show up years later and demand I listen. We're not demanding anything, my mother said softly, but I could hear the desperation in her tone. You just what? I snapped. Want me to sit down, hold hands, and pretend the last decade never happened? Lisa flinched, her breath hitching like she was about to cry again. I didn't care. My father's grip on the doorframe tightened. We made a mistake. I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. A mistake is forgetting someone's birthday. A mistake is not ruining your son's life because you couldn't be bothered to believe him. My father didn't flinch. He just stared at me. Move your hand, I said through gritted teeth. No. Anger burned through me, the kind I hadn't felt in years. I stepped forward until I was inches from his face. I don't want you in my life. That's my decision. You don't get to force your way in just because you suddenly feel guilty. My father's jaw tensed. For a second, I thought he might actually argue. Then Lisa spoke. Please. I turned my glare to her. You have nothing to say to me. I do, she whispered. I've been in therapy for years. I've spent every single day regretting what I did. I scoffed. Oh, so you've suffered, huh? Must have been real hard living your life while I was treated like garbage. Tears streamed down her face. I know it doesn't fix anything. I know you hate me, and I don't blame you. But her voice broke. I needed to tell you the truth. You deserve that. I stared at her, my heart pounding. I had dreamed of this moment for years, of hearing her admit she lied, of knowing my parents finally saw the truth. But now that it was happening, it meant nothing. You know what I deserved. My voice was steady, but there was an edge to it, sharp and unforgiving. I deserved parents who didn't throw me away. I deserved a family that stood by me instead of treating me like a criminal. My mother sobbed quietly. My father's expression hardened, like he wanted to argue but knew he had no right. I exhaled sharply. I don't owe you forgiveness. Lisa nodded quickly, like she had been expecting that. I know. And I don't want you in my life. That one hurt her. I could see it in the way she staggered back, like I had physically struck her. But I didn't care. I turned my eyes back to my father. Now move your hand. He hesitated. Then, after what felt like an eternity, he slowly stepped back. I gripped the doorknob. Don't ever come back. My mother let out a quiet sob. My father didn't say a word. Lisa just stood there, looking like she wanted to say something, anything, but knew it wouldn't matter. I slammed the door in their faces. And for the first time in years, I felt free. Or at least, I thought I did. Because later that night, I got a text. From an unknown number. You can't just walk away from family. I stared at the screen, my stomach twisting into knots. They weren't done with me yet.